Hello and welcome to another episode of Blackjack Movies. I am your host, Pat Hilke, taking you through the journey of the best damn movie podcast on the internet. I am here with not only the man, the myth, the legend, not only the co-pilot of the ship, but the returning son, Brett Gutierrez. What's up, Brett?
What's up, Pat? And what is up, listeners? We are back.
We're back.
We're back in action for the Avengers.
Yes, man.
And
yes.
I'm back in California. We're doing an in-person review.
That's right. This isn't
for my first showing.
That's right.
Of Avengers Endgame.
I've seen it 3 times, but
well, Pat's crazy, but
that's true. So, as we do always, we give you the good, we give you the bad, and we'll give you the Blackjack movie rating out of 10. All right, man. This is a spoiler edition. Like, if you haven't seen Avengers by now, what the hell are you doing?
Until just now.
What are you doing? Like,
I'm sorry, I had to fly across the country to come see a movie with you, Pat.
Exactly. No,
So,
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. That's dedication.
It is.
That's dedication. All right, man. So, Brett, what is good about Avengers Endgame?
Wow. What a loaded question, because there's nothing not good about Avengers Endgame.
I agree.
The list is basically infinite.
Yeah. The list starts like when you sit down in the theater.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, does it deliver on all fronts, on every emotion you could ask for? Absolutely. It's sad. It will make you cry your freaking eyes out. It's funny. It's hilarious at times.
Funny.
The action is amazing. It brings back everything that you want it to bring back. And it ends in a way that makes you super happy when you leave the theater. So, absolutely, there's an endless list of things to go on about how good this movie is.
I agree 100%, man. Like, after seeing it the third time, it still, like, grabs the interest. It's still, you choke back tears. You're dying laughing. There's a couple of scenes with Thor, man. Thor is, like, Chris Hemsworth has great comedic timing.
Absolutely.
Like, it really is amazing.
Yeah. He's been in, I think.
Like, you even go to, like, the Vacation remake. He was killing it in that one, or in the Ghostbusters reboot or whatever. Like,
absolutely killed it there with the timing.
Yeah, like, his comedic timing is the one that, is just hilarious. But as Thor, it brings out a whole new level, because it's like it's almost like Batista, but, a different level of, like,
it's Batista with more talking and less physical. I think.
Yeah, but
physical
like,
is Batista's so
where it's like the straight
stoic.
man, like it's he's trying to, like, oh, I'm prim and proper, but he's just the timing is amazing with Hemsworth, man. I loved it. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, I'm gonna get that body.
I'm even gonna throw in that Pat finally achieved Hemsworth body.
Yes,
and that is the first spoiler that we get into. And you know what? It goes
I feel like that's a shot at me, though, dude. Like,
I mean, he was still huge.
He was yoked. He was yoked up, but man, he was fat as hell.
It is Fat Thor, everybody. And man, I love Thor. Thor is my favorite.
Amazing.
Thor is the best looking Avenger. He is the strongest Avenger.
Point Break.
All of the things. He is Point Break. Man, they made him Fat Thor.
They made him Fat Thor, man.
He is basically chasing down Anthony Hopkins right now.
With some yoked up arms, man.
Yeah, he does an entire shirtless scene of just the biggest beer belly.
That's hilarious.
It's so good, but still somehow enormously yoked arms.
So let's get into a few, like, the surprises, because I feel like this review is a little different, because I think you agree with me. There's no bad in it.
Yeah, no. We're not going to touch on anything bad. And if there is things that are bad, you can, leave them in the comments. Let us know.
Yeah.
Because there isn't.
And if there is some, it's 30 seconds, and then it's back to, like, it's like the Hulk eating lunch.
I mean,
like, there was parts of it, like the Hulk dab I could do without.
I see. That was a funny part. That's funny.
All right, but let's get into some of the takeaways from the movie. Like, so, as we start, the movie begins with Hawkeye's family getting dusted.
And I immediately was basically in tears.
I was just shocked. I mean, you knew it was coming, right?
Yes.
Because he wouldn't turn into Ronin without that happening. Mm-hmm. But, like, it's still like, I was like, oh my God.
To visually see it, to visually see him.
And the way they did it was
running
amazing.
Around. Yeah. He's with his family, and he's enjoying a perfectly beautiful day, teaching his kids to, shoot an arrow and having, lunch out in the patio. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, it's just like the worst feeling you could ever feel. everybody's gone.
Yeah, and you have no
and
idea
you're just
what
like,
happened.
What? Yeah. So that immediately gets you, stabs you right in the heart, and sets the tone for this movie. That this is a pretty dark movie, and it is a dark movie throughout. Consistently throughout.
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. And then you have this feeling of like, oh, Tony's going to die in space, but then Captain Marvel comes, saves him or whatever. Yeah. And then they go and fight Thanos. Like, we're in the first, 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
They go and fight.
And they're like, we found him.
Yeah.
Because easy enough to find.
And Thor chops his head off. Yeah. And it's like, damn. Like, now what?
But to me, that was the most unfulfilling Thanos death you could ever get. I was just like, it's over.
Yeah, he was just like, whatever.
At that point, he was just a crippled shell of what he was.
Yeah.
He had exploded the Infinity Stones. They're gone. He was weak. He was injured.
Crazy.
And all the Avengers that were left just team up and then Thor just comes in and whacks his head off.
Yeah, man.
And you're just like, whoa.
Yeah,
but you knew that can't be it.
No. And so we fast forward 5 years, and this whole drama of, can we get these people back? You got the heist movie. You have a heist movie, basically.
Yeah, a little bit. The Ant-Man portion was definitely a heist movie.
I mean, he's like, Ant-Man, whenever Ant-Man's in a movie, we know that it's going to be a heist movie. Yeah. And so, Paul Rudd killed it this time as, the comedic, genius that he is.
Yeah.
He had some hilarious lines.
We got to rewind real quick and just go back to the Captain America support group.
Okay.
And I don't know, I loved that scene. I love that Captain America is running a support group for post Thanos survivors.
Yeah, man.
Because that's something that he would kind of do.
Well, he's just basically telling people that they got to just roll with it.
Yeah, he's like, hey guys,
you got to just keep going. Keep going.
Put your best foot forward. He's so ever optimistic.
And we finally got our first openly gay character, I guess, in a Marvel movie with that dude talking about his.
Oh, that he went on a date.
He went
with
on a date with a dude. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was like, whatever.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah. But getting back to Ant-Man and heisting all these gems from the past.
Yeah. And so
in
you
the
got
quantum realm.
Yes, you had and the shots that they take at all the time travel movies, hilarious.
Oh, absolutely.
They
just burn Back to the Future.
Back to the Future.
Gets burned multiple times.
You can't talk to yourself, and you can't bet on sports.
Don't bet on any sports. Don't get any lotto numbers.
I mean, it was hilarious. But those scenes where they go back in time.
Oh, and they just see themselves.
It's amazing.
You get those points throughout this entire legacy of a movie.
Yeah, so you revisit
Avengers 1.
You revisit Avengers 1 and
Captain
sort of
America
Captain
1.
America 2.
Or was that what, 2?
Well, because you have basically the elevator scene again.
Oh, yeah.
And you have Robert Redford show up as a cameo.
Yep.
You get a Doctor Strange scene because you have the Ancient One come back.
Yep.
You have an Asgard scene that brings Natalie Portman and Rene Russo back.
Yep.
It was pretty amazing to get all the little Easter eggs that you got in those time travel scenes. Yeah. Then they go back to 1970,
and they really tied all these characters in a great way with the time travel. It was fun to be like, oh, and it's not weird that they jam Natalie Portman in there.
Right.
It's not weird that they jam, Rene Russo, like you said.
Right.
And all these auxiliary characters that were big parts of movies.
Yeah.
But you get them back again, and in a way that's not weird.
Exactly.
Which I really enjoyed.
Yeah. I mean, it was perfect. And I'm so happy that these people agreed to come back, too.
And Loki, that's the big one, is getting
Tom Hiddleston. Tom Hiddleston to come back and do, three new scenes,
So good.
Yeah, I can't wait
From basically post Avengers 1.
It's just amazing.
Tom Hiddleston picks up and he's still cracking jokes, making fun of Cap. It's so good, dude. It just hurts that Tom Hiddleston's gone.
But we'll get to that in a second. So getting back to it, then they go to 1970, and I think this is the scene that really solidifies Cap and Tony's arc of friendship and then betrayal back to friendship.
Yeah.
And it's because Tony Stark has the ability and to actually have a conversation with his dad.
Mm-hmm.
And he's able to have that closure that he wasn't able to get because Winter Soldier killed him.
Yeah. And it really helps his arc as a whole and allows the movie to progress in the direction that it progresses.
Right.
Yeah, that scene was quite touching,
and
I feel.
Yeah. And
got me a little choked up, too, especially when he goes in for the hug.
Right.
With the dad.
Yeah.
The dad's like, who are you?
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
And just the little thing, like even the Jarvis character, who was a chauffeur, he was in the Agent Carter series that was on ABC for a couple years. And so it's just all these little things you're able to grab this character or that character and bring them back into the fold. And I thought that was pretty sweet. And Cap at the same time, he gets to see Haley Atwell, Peggy Carter.
Yep.
And he, you can already tell that he has this idea of this is who I want to get back to.
Well, it's always been that way, but
that's
then
true.
Finally he gets this opportunity, and
that's his person.
Which
right?
one of us wouldn't take that opportunity, right? To have gotten back a little bit of the life that you lost.
You know. So he's got to, they have to obviously get back to where they originated from so they can, bring everybody back.
Yeah.
And so you have that. Then you have this like side story with the Guardians and Thanos and, having, what was her name? No, the other one. Nebula. Yeah. Mine went blank. It's 1:30 in the morning, guys. Like, give us a little bit of a break.
We got the late showing.
Yeah. So you have Nebula, and I thought that was a good way of bringing Thanos back, too. Because you were able to... because how would you have got badass Thanos? And he was badass.
He was still badass,
in this one. Like I think he was more badass in this one than he was in Infinity
War. Because he had no stone power.
Yeah, and so he was
still kicking everybody's ass.
Yeah, and he grabbed Thor's weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah,
true.
It was crazy.
Oof, there was a lot going on that I probably need to rewatch in those fight scenes, especially.
Yeah, but I think that brings us to like the best scene. So after Thanos does show up, they do the snap. They bring everybody back. And they don't surprise anybody with it, like, oh, did it work? Did it not? No, like Hawkeye right away gets the call from his wife. Everybody's back.
Yeah,
and the whole place gets exploded
because Thanos came.
Yeah, Thanos
came through.
Thanos came through and just started blowing shit up.
But yeah, that fight scene that Pat's talking about with first of all, Fat Thor,
yes, Fat
Iron
Thor,
Tony, and Cap, and
amazing.
Cap apparently is worthy. He is now worthy of grabbing Mjolnir.
It's so awesome.
And he just whacks the hell out of Thanos with it.
So cool.
And it is so good.
It is. It's amazing. It's got to be one of the best comic book movies that they've ever come out with. And one of the best like action movies. But it's even more than that. It's more than that because the first hour and a half is not action at all. It's all character building, and it's like watching an episode of Game of Thrones at times.
Yeah, and this is a special thing that I don't think we can ever get again. This
22 movies.
22 movies in the making.
And this is the end of that 22.
How many years in the making?
11, man. 11 years of my life watching 22 movies.
My formative years.
Right? For you, man.
Yeah.
You started these things when you were
18.
a youngin'.
No, younger than 18. It's crazy.
Yeah, man.
And just the culmination of all this, it just gives you everything you want.
And then we get to the sad parts.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about who bites it.
So we get to the sad parts, and it was emotional seeing Spider-Man hugging Tony Stark when he came back through the portal. But when Tony, snaps again,
Tony finally,
with the Infinity Stones, and you realize that he's going to die, and you see first Rhodey come over and just like
pick him up,
grab his face, and then Peter's over there and
hugging on him.
Oh man! And then Pepper
comes in, and that's when it really got me.
Yeah,
that's when the waterworks came, and there was just not a dry eye in there.
No,
it really is a rough scene.
I've seen it 3 times, and that part, and then like the next scene where he's doing a video to his daughter, and Jon Favreau talking to the daughter about cheeseburgers. Man,
whoa, rough.
Man, got me every time.
Yeah,
man.
they do it up big for Tony's funeral.
And
everybody shows
that's
out.
awesome. And
I
the
love
way
it.
that the way that the camera pans.